Time. My name is Divina Sha, and today we're going to be reading out of our My Creative Bible. And today's chapter is Exodus, chapter 33. So, a quick recap, if you remember from last time, Moses came down from the mountain. He found all the people that he literally just delivered out of Egypt, throwing a big old party and worshiping a golden calf, and God was not happy. And the Lord said unto Moses, Depart and go up hence, thou and the people which thou hast brought up out of the land of Egypt, unto the land which I swore unto Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, saying, Unto thy seed will I give it. And I will send an angel before thee, and I will drive out the Canaanite, the Amorite, and the Hittite, and the Pezerite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, for I will not go up in the midst of thee, for thou art a stiff-necked people, lest I consume thee in the way. And when the people heard these evil tidings, they mourned, and no man did put on him his ornaments. For the Lord had said unto Moses, Say unto the children of Israel, Ye are a stiff-necked people. I will come up unto the midst of thee in a moment, and consume thee. Therefore now put off thy ornaments from thee, that I may know what to do unto thee. And the children of Israel stripped themselves of their ornaments by the Mount Horeb. Okay, so basically, as the title is saying, Lord told Moses to go before them, and he said, I'm going to send an angel before you guys, and I will drive out all these different types of people that he had mentioned. And, he's saying, I promised you guys this land flowing with milk and honey, but I'm not going to go with you guys because you guys are stiff-necked people, or I'm going to literally wipe you guys out. And when everybody heard this, they were very sad, which I would be sad as well. And of course, he told Moses to tell them that they were stiff-necked people and to take off all their ornaments. And so they did. And they stripped themselves. And now we're going on to the next section called The Tabernacle is Removed Out of the Camp. And Moses took the tabernacle and pitched it without the camp, afar off from the camp, and called it the tabernacle of the congregation. And it came to pass that every one which sought the Lord went out unto the tabernacle of the congregation which was without the camp. And it came to pass when Moses went out unto the tabernacle that all the people rose up and stood every man at his tent door and looked after Moses until he was gone unto the tabernacle. And it came to pass, as Moses entered into the tabernacle, the cloudy pillar descended and stood at the door of the tabernacle, and the Lord talked with Moses. And all the people saw the cloudy pillar stand at the tabernacle door, and all the people rose up and worshipped, every man in his tent door. And the Lord spake unto Moses face to face, as a man speaketh unto his friend. And he turned again into the camp, but his servant Joshua, the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle. Okay, so breaking down this section again, Moses takes the tabernacle far away from the camp, calls it the tabernacle of the congregation. Everyone who is seeking the Lord went out, and Moses went to the tabernacle. Everybody rose up at their tent doors, and they looked at Moses as he was going into the tabernacle. And so when Moses went there, a cloudy pillar came down and stood at the door. And the Lord was talking to Moses. And it says he was talking to him like a friend would be talking to his friend, Just like a man would speak to his friend is what it's saying. So, he goes into the tabernacle, God's speaking with him. The tabernacle, the cloudy pillar comes down, God's speaking with him. And when people see this, they start to worship God. They rose up and they worshipped him, every man that was at his tent door. So anyway, God is speaking with Moses face to face, and but then they say that his servant Joshua is not there. He is departed, not out of the tabernacle. Okay. Moses desires to see the glory of God. And Moses said unto the Lord, See, thou sayest unto me, Bring up these people, and thou hast not let me know whom thou wilt set with me. Yet thou hast said, I know thee by name, and thou hast also found grace in my sight. Now therefore I pray thee, if I have found grace in thy sight, show me now thy way, that I may know thee, that I may find grace in thy sight, and consider that this nation is thy people. And he said, My presence shall go with thee, and I will give thee rest. And he said unto him, If thy presence go not with me, carry us not up hence. For wherein shall it be known here that I and thy people have found grace in thy sight? Is it not in thou goest with us, so shall we be separated, I and thy people, from all the Lord that are upon the face of the earth? And the Lord said unto Moses, I will do this thing that thou hast spoken, for thou hast found grace in my sight, and I know thee by name. He said, I beseech thee, show me thy glory. And he said, I will make all my goodness pass before thee, and I will proclaim the name of the Lord before thee, and I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and I will shew mercy on whom I will show mercy. And he said, Thou canst not see my face, for there shall no man see me and live. And the Lord said, Behold, there is a place by me, and thou shalt stand upon a rock. And it shall come to pass, while my glory passeth by that I will put thee in a cliff of a rock, and will cover thee with my hand while I pass by. And I will take away mine hand, and thou shalt see my back parts, but my face shall not be seen. Interesting. Okay, so Moses is speaking with the Lord. And basically, just kind of, he's in a not so good situation, as we all know at this time. So he's talking with God, and he's like, if I have found grace with you, he's like, I would, like to see you. And he's like, my presence will go before you, but you're not going to see my face. And, they're talking about, if God is going to go with the people and stuff, if they found grace with him. And, he's like, God tells him, you have found grace in my sight, and I know you by name, and I'm going to show you my glory, he said. And, Moses is saying, yeah, of course, let your goodness pass before me, and, I will proclaim your name and be gracious to whoever. And, but, as I said, he says, but you can't see my face, because no man that sees me will live. And so God said, go and stand on this rock, and it'll come to pass that when my glory passes by you, I will cover you with my hand as I pass by, and I will take my hand away, and you will see my backside, but you will not see my face. So that's the agreement that they came upon. Moses wants to see God, and God's like, no. Anybody who sees my face, done. So I'll let you see my backside. Fair trade. I'd like to see at least God's backside. But anyway, so that is the end of chapter 33. So what a mess we have gotten ourselves into, right? I think just a building upon the last chapter. It's a good thing to remember. Or maybe, some of you that come across this video, maybe you haven't seen the other video. But I talked about last time about how it is possible for you to block your own blessings that God has in store for you by being disobedient. So I think that is something to continue to keep in mind here. God is being very gracious, right, with his people. He delivered these people out of Egypt, and then they start worshiping this calf, and it's like, what the heck, guys? So I think that's another thing that we can take away from this, is that God is still such a gracious God, right? And God is a patient God. He is so very patient with us. Even when we trip and we fall and we continue to make mistakes, he's still there. He still loves us. And he's willing to forgive us, right? And wait for us to realize the mistakes that we've made, right? So I think that's just the thing that I want to leave you with for this video. Just remember obedience, obedience, obedience. And remember that when you do fall and you do mess up, ask God for forgiveness and just do your best to do better, right? You don't just want to say like, oh, it's fine, I'll just keep doing whatever and God will just always forgive me. That's not the right attitude to have. It has to be something inside of you, right, that doesn't want to do bad. You know what I mean? So that's just something to think over. Anyway, so let's close out with prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for everyone who watches this video, dear Lord. Oh, dear Lord, I pray that everybody has a very blessed weekend this weekend. I pray that everyone who watches this video receives the message that they need to receive, dear Lord. And I just also pray, dear Lord, that we can just continue to strive to be the best that we can be, dear Lord. I thank you for your grace. I thank you for your forgiveness, dear Lord. May we also have the strength to forgive others when they hurt us, dear Lord, just as you were gracious enough to forgive us, dear Lord. And dear Lord, may you just continue to give us the strength to walk away from old sins, dear Lord, and that we every day continue to be the best versions of ourselves possible, dear Lord. And I thank you for the opportunity that you give us each and every day that we have life to continue to do that, dear Lord. Amen. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you next time. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
The word of the Lord came on me saying, I'll protect you.